We brought the first one back from the container to be worked on. This is 1980 XT500. We're going to pull it out of the van and have a bit of a walk around, generally see what's up with it, what we need to do to it, get it running, and this one will be up for sale. Keep watching as we pull it out and start working. So we're going to do a bit of a walk around of this 1980 XT500. It's pretty good condition, as you can see. Everything seems to be there. Light bulb, a few little scratches on it, a little bit of rust on the horn, a couple of bolts that are a little bit rusty. Aside from that, this is in fair condition. So a crack in the light lens, indicators all there. So switch gear all seems to be okay. Clocks look original as the speedo, not quite sure on the rev counter. Cables all there. Throttle free. So what we'll do is we'll start going over this just to make sure it can run, or at least before we try starting it we'll empty it of fuel. I can see that, judging by the colour of this, that looks a little bit crappy. Yeah, we'll check out the boot. That seems, oh, that feels loose in there, but we'll have a look at it in a minute. But yeah, pretty good. Frame's in good condition. As I said, this is a 1980, and we'll get this recommissioned, running, see what she sounds like, and yeah, go from there. So I'm here on my own, so what we're going to do, I will keep pausing the video, but basically kind of show you where I'm heading, what I'm doing, and after each bit that I've removed, which in the first instance is going to be the seat. And as you can see, these bolts under here are in stonking condition, so this has hardly seen any dirt or water even. Still got the toolbox here. I'll open that up in a minute, see if it's still got anything in it, but I'll keep stopping as I do some work. Need 2 hands for the spanners, and then show you where I'm at, what we're doing. First thing is to take the side panels off. Left hand side panel has key fitment. Let's see if this is the same key as the ignition. Oh, it is. Oh, and that's easy. Slight scratch on the panel. There is a battery in there. Can't see the fluid levels. Doesn't look as though it's particularly good. Not connected, it would appear. Not that it matters on these. These run without a battery. Although if you do that, then the potential is that the load will blow your bulbs because it's not regulated by the fact that it's keeping your battery charged as well through the regulator. It feeds pretty much all through the lights. So if you do rev it hard, it will tend to blow your bulbs. So let's pop round to the other side. This is a screw fitment. That's undone. Oh, no, it isn't. Another click. No, doesn't want to let go. got? There's the little, yep. Be careful with these, don't want to break the peg, and it fits over the frame. Yep, so that just fits over that peg. On this side we've got airbox, air filter cover. So we'll pop that off. Let's have a look and see what the state of this is. As you can see, one-handed. Would be much quicker if I had two, but I haven't got a tripod for this camera at the moment. So, first one out, next one, there we go. One more, needs a bit more. There we go, that's out. Pick that up in a minute. Let's have a look. Ooh, that's not particularly healthy, is it? Still, and as you can see, falling apart. So, perished, new filter required. You can get one of those, or we can make one. I've got some filter foam. Okay, so that's one job to be done before we try and get this going. Let's get some spanners and get the saddle off and the tank off, and then have a look at how clean the carburetor is. Right, I've taken the two retaining bolts out. Let's pull that saddle off. Have a look under there. This is quite clean. And we've got a fuse, so have a look at that. Yep, that looks okay. We'll test it out with a meter a bit later. Wiring all looks good. And, okay, right, let's get the tank off, petcock off, check all that, and make sure it's clean. Okay, first step is let's get the fuel line off. There is fuel in this, so let's see. That line feels pretty ropey. Let's have a sniff of. Yeah, that's not too bad, but yeah, you can smell it's a bit stale. And charging by the tap, that is supposed to be off, but as you can see, we've got a leak, so that might need a little bit of a look at, clean it out, and solve that issue. Okay, tank off. Have a look. Yep, that's a bonus. Under the tank, it's just a bit dusty, as you can see. Okay, oil. Okay, we need a. Oh no, there we go. Let's have a look, see what we got. It's just touching the dipstick. Let's have a look, see what. That looks pretty clean, actually. Although it is low. That should be. Yeah, doesn't touch the dipstick when it's not screwed in. So we need to top that up before we attempt to do anything starting this motor. So we'll give it a bit of a clean with the good old muck off. I found this is a pretty good cleaner, actually. It's you just spray it on and put it into a container of your own. You literally spray it on and rush in for a bit. And then hose off. So I'll come back once I've done that. This is going to be a little while trying to get into all the nooks and crannies, but we'll come back. Giving it a bit of a clean just to get some of the dust and muck off of it. We'll have a quick look at whether we've got spark. That looks like a new plug in there. Let's see when we get it out. No, it isn't. So, looking a bit black. That could be a number of things, but I'll reserve judgment on that for the moment. Let's just see if we've got a spark. So, let's put that on there. And ignition on. So the plug is out, so we've got no compression to fight against. And let's see if we can hold the camera still enough to yep, there you go, saw that. Yeah, so quite a healthy spark. We'll have a look at this boot anyway. It kind of feels a bit old, and let's see what type it is as far as a screw in, or yeah, looks like it is. So we'll nip the end off of that, check that it's okay, screw that back on anyway just to be sure. But yeah, result, we got some spark. First part of the process. Carburetor is out. It's a simple job, couple of clamps, unhook the throttle cables, 2 of them, as a return one as well, and prise it out of the rubbers. And we have it over here. The fuel stank, but I've kind of loosened off these bottom screws already. So let's just have a quick look. Pop these out. Fourth one, and oh, that was loose. Let's have a look. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. There's a bit down there. Needs a bit of a clean. That seems a bit rusty. You can see it's quite dark in there. But, okay, generally let's have a look. I'm going to go off camera and pop out all of these the pivot pin there for the floats and the jets, and also pilot jet as well. Get into that and pull that out and have a look. So pilot jet is out, which is actually clean-ish. The cross holes are, but what somebody has done, let me get that into focus, that head is noshed. Now I've had issues with, especially on Yamahas as well, it was an RD350 with a head that was mullered by somebody previously, and what I was fortunate enough to do was just drill it and put a little easy out into it, right down in the hole, and get it out. So if that is one way of getting them out. You see people heating the carbs, things like that, but in my experience, once the head is noshed, you kind of got to drill it and get into that hole to pull it out properly, rather than trying to heat it and then keep working on a knackered head. As for the main jet, yeah, it's pretty clogged. There's a couple of the holes kind of showing, but otherwise, let's have a look through it. Yeah, it's got some passage, but we'll give that a clean up as well. And we'll drop the bowl into the ultrasonic, and anything else really that kind of needs it, we'll flush it through with some carb cleaner as well. But generally looks okay, apart from that pilot. Okay. So the carburetor's now in the ultrasonic, So what I'm going to do next is take off the bash plate, which gives me access to the filters. Let's drain the oil and have a look at the content of that and decide whether I need to get some new filters or not. Already know that I need a new air filter, so start to build a parts list now. Just small items by the look of it. So back in a sec once I've got the plate off, the filters off, and can show you what's in there. So I've pulled the sump pan out where there is a strainer, which you can see there, with which sits in the oil. That all looks pretty clean. There's not too much. That actually feels there's no bits in that. That's nice and clean in there. And then also on the side of the bike, there's the oil filter. Oh, that's seen better days. So new one of those on order, and that goes there. Filters are back in place. Oil filter sits in there, and as I said earlier, there's a gauze or mesh within the sump. That's all back in, filled with oil. Checked also that the return, so you can see the pump is returning to the top as well. Carb replaced the pilot jet, the float jet, and give it a pretty damn good clean. Put it into the cleaner. Yeah, now it's ready to go. One more thing, just give the tank a clean out. It doesn't really need a clean, it's got the old fuel in it, so might just hook this up with an auxiliary tank tomorrow and give it a kick over, and then check out electrics, see what else works. I know the battery's not connected at the moment, but these things start without a battery anyway, as I said before. I've just emptied the fuel into a Pepsi bottle, and it looks like Pepsi. I have never seen fuel go to that colour before. So either somebody thought they were needing to mix two-stroke oil into this, or what the hell is that? Anyway, next, take this off, give it a good clean out, give the tank a good slosh through. It kind of looks okay in there. Probably can't see with the light at the moment, but yeah, it's pretty clean in there. Oh, apart from a leaf in the bottom. Okay. Fuel tap is cleaned. Tank has had a slosh out and then refilled with, lined, we say, with WD-40. I know it's alley, but hey, just trying to get something in there to stop it doing any kind of corrosion. Also noticed, just about to put things back on, but here we have something that isn't going to work. This is the rev counter cable, or for those of you that don't speak English, the tacho cable. I always thought taco was something you ate, you know, one of those doughy things that the Yanks so love. Anyway, looks like I need a new cable. That isn't going to revolve in there at all. So pop that out. It's just a little spring clip, just there. And that out that end, unscrew from the rev counter taco. Yeah, new one of those needed. What I'm doing here today is a new air filter for the XT500. That, as you can see, is had it. I've cleaned off all of the muck from around the inside of this, so it's sandwiched between these two, and in there, that piece of plastic, basically that kind of thing, which then slides into the side of the bike. So what we're going to do is use this double density. It's got a finer foam one side and a more coarse. We put the more coarse on the outside, and we're just going to create a new version of that. So we'll cut out a piece to wrap around here. Looks like we're going to need a little bit longer, so a couple of pieces, just a bit of spray glue on the edges there, and that'll be it. So come back to me when I've just cut that out. There we go, new piece cut out, which I won't need to make an infill because this should be nice and tight. around there. So if we pull that round, that will just meet there. So we'll just do a little bit of spray glue, contact adhesive in there, and that'll be perfect. Good to go. Done. Perfect. That'll work. We are into another day, and what I found was this XT500 was temperamental to start. What I hadn't checked was the timing and points gap. So I opened up this, and the points gap on this was way too small. It should be 35 to 45 thou, I think it is. This is 1980. So just setting that, and then I'll go around and check the timing. The rig that I use just for do static timing is you connect up a battery across. Oh, you have to disconnect the alternator cable as well. Connect up a battery across the terminal. So one onto the base plate, the other one onto, let's just say, the spring. So effectively, when the points join, that's when you see the light come on. So you can then turn it until it gets to the fire mark and watch when the light goes off, because it's the parting of the points that imparts the power to the coil, and hence the spark. So while the light is on for most of the revolution, and on the far side you'll see the F mark. When it gets to the F, the light should go off. So I've got a light wired into the, and I'll show you that when I've set the points gap and start to turn it over. Now on the left hand side of the bike, and you can see there's the little timing light or timing indicator, and what I've got rigged up here, this is connected to the battery and across the points, and the cable here is disconnected. Otherwise you have continuity. If this is connected, then your light will always be on. So what I'm going to do now is rotate the engine in direction of travel. In these it's anti-clockwise, so I'm going to rotate this way, and what we should see come up is a couple of marks on the top of the casing here, an F and a T. So we're going to keep going till we get to, oh, okay, we've just gone past the F, I think. So we're not at top dead center on that one. Oh no, we are at top dead center. Right, so the light has just come on. It is way past it now because let's just go back. So there's my, let's get that in focus. You can see the F and T there, and lined up with the pointer. Let's just bring that around there. On the left hand side I've got the firing mark lined up with the pointer on the casing. So now on this side what I need to do is get these points just so they are closing, stroke separating, so the point the balance tipping point of where they close and separate by moving this base plate. So below here we can see the timing light again, and what this should be achieved by is moving this base plate. So we just see the timing light. Let's see if we can get that to move. There. You see the light has come on below. We're just at that point now of the tipping point of the points closing and creating the contact. If we move it back, it breaks the contact. So now we should be on the firing point on the marker on the left hand side and the open closing point here, and this should be the perfect position for the static timing. So what we're going to do is just do these bolts up, then we'll go around the other side and watch the light and rotate the engine on the firing point and just see that the marker comes into play at the F and the light comes on. So you can see the timing light is on at the bottom here. We're just on the F marker here. What I'm going to do first of all is just back it away from that, so kind of just put the engine in reverse. So there we go. So now we're going to come forwards onto that F. And we're coming up to it now. So we are about 8 mil away from it. Coming up to it. We're on the F now. There we go. It's a little bit just past. You can see there. Just past the F. Let's just back that off a little bit and see where the light comes on. Yeah. Okay. So there's a little bit of slack in the drive there. So we've just come back onto it again. Coming up to it. F is now. Okay, it's about 1 degree out at the moment. So a little bit more. I think I just need to move the back plate backwards on the other side of fraction. So I'll go and do that and then come back over to here. The base plate needed literally like 0.5 millimeter of movement in a clockwise direction just to bring that back onto the F here. So we'll just roll it backwards. So there, the light is on, as you can see. Now we're going to roll forwards through the F, and we're coming up to it, and we are just on it. Oh, there we go, fraction. It's like so close, it's not worth worrying about now. So there we go, that's the timing set. Right, so everything's now connected back up. We've got the points all set. The cable from alternator to points is reconnected. Always get that one right, otherwise you'll sit there kicking it for ages, as I've just tried. Reconnected that, realised the mistake, obviously. Now we should start. Find top dead centre, there it is. Pressure lever in a little bit, back up to the top, and perfect.